All right. Dapper cracker out here. My assistant's leaving me. Bye, assistant. But we got to get the transmission out of this Equinox. My assistant's got shit to do. Y'all heard that. So the battle right now is getting these old crusty, rusty, shitty battery box bolts out. So what I've done, if you guys run into this, is you're going to have to take a screwdriver and scrape the crust off the edge of these things, man, or you're just going to sit there and spin and spin and spin. And believe it or not, if you can get it down to the washer, it'll give you enough to get a wrench on it to get them off. But I'm out here tonight trying to figure out how to get the damn electrical box off of this thing. If not, I mean, the engine's going to come out the bottom, but it's going to be hung up by all these wires. So if I can figure out the main block on this fuse box right here, that would save me from unhooking every damn thing on the engine. Just unhook the main harness from there, and a couple of these main harnesses coming from the body, and take the air box out, try to clear everything up. Now, you don't have to take the radiator out of these things, but I'm going to try to do this without breaking the damn AC. So I think I'm just going to take the compressor off down there and zip tie all this shit up right here against the damn subframe. But I've got to get this shit going, guys. I'm getting too old to damn mess with this shit. But you're never going to get anywhere if you don't make an attempt. And it's like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm out here lit up like a freaking Christmas tree. And it looks like one of my damn light bulbs went out. Yeah, there we go. But I'll get back with you. And maybe I'll do a video on how to get this out. There's several videos on 3.8 liter V6s in Equinoxes all the way up to 2013, but none on 06 3.4. So bear with me, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, back at it again. Here's what I figured out. There's no way to remove that. So what you got to do is start unplugging everything. The main harness there, and there's a main harness down there. And then pull everything from the bottom around the engine and pull it up. Same thing with the starter. Let's go under. You're going to have to pull the starter up in here. And these are all the wires to the starter. And then pull them up that way. And all your wires will be hanging down here. And pull them up through the back of the engine. Let's see here. And I put some corks in here where the transmission lines are. So it's one 10mm nut to remove that. And that's pretty much all you got to do, because all this will be in the frame. And there's all the wires up there, focus. And I'm just going to pull them up from where the CV axle is, all the way up through the top. And then you've got two fuel lines, the return. I don't know if you can see them up in there. Right there. There's one right below that plug. And there's one right above it, and that's where you separate it, right there. So you don't have to take it off the engine to separate that one and that one. And you should be good to go after you get the exhaust loose, the O2s. And everything should come up. So yeah, the fuse box didn't work. It's not too bad though. You got two main plug buses, and then all of your knock sensors in the back here. There and there. And then you got an O2 over here. And of course one on the catalyst and one on the manifold. And what I did was I took the AC compressor loose and I tied it up with some coat hangers, and I'm hoping I'll be able to force it forward once I get that hose off. And I tied up the brake calipers with a clothes hanger, so all I should be able to do now is take the strut tower bolts loose from the top, and the struts, the rotors, CV axles, the subframe, engine, transmission, all of it should come out. So it's just these 4 bolts right here for the subframe. 1, 2, and the same thing on the other side. 3, and one up here. I went one step forward and took this balance piece out so it wouldn't get in the way And it's right there at my feet. So it wasn't too bad, but I would suggest taking the battery tray out and this thing that holds that plastic battery tray in right here. So right now the only thing I've got left is to unhook this from the transmission and the shifter link cable, and then it should just be a matter of taking those bolts right there loose for the transmission mount, the strut tower bolts, and then these engine mounts, the strut tower bolts, and we should drop it. So I'll get back with you guys. Alright, Dapper Cracker, back at you. Man, I'm getting up late. I had to sleep in and I kind of missed my good cool morning. We're out here working on the Toccoa sound machine. I'm going to set my tin up. Had to run to Harbor Freight and grab me a new low profile 3-ton. So we're going to get to it. She's ready to go. I just need 6 motor mounts, or 3 motor mount bolts, 3 transmission bolts, and 6 strut tower bolts, and all the subframe will come out. So we're giving it a go. But guys, I want to show you something. Change of plans on the 1212s. I was going to run 3 of those base 1200s. So I sold a couple of those. So we're going to go with the MD 1800s. I saw them on a bench do a little over 2K. So that's what I want to go. You know, the 1200s did great, but they were just, I could tell they wanted some more. So a lot of people, when they do this, they'll compare like a high BL sub, like say a JLW7 or what have you, you know, or WO, something with a high BL against 2 regular speakers, but they'll do that on like the same amp. And of course, the, you know, the nicer sub, or the one with the higher BL, is going to blow the 2 away. But here's the caveat. What they're doing is they're using the same amplifier. So let's quadruple the subs and quadruple the power. Then it's not going to be able to stand up to it. So that when they're using the same amp with the 2 that are kind of a lower BL sub, it's not really a good comparison. So if you double or quadruple the power on the 2 regular subs, they're going to get loud. You can get loud with anything, guys. But I'm in here going through all my vape stuff. But there's a couple of those MDs. I got 4 of them. There's a box, and there's a box. I'm only going to need 3, so that's 4 wired to each one down to 1. And I was testing out a couple of my Helix that I got from the Amp Guru. And I've got a little crackle in my A4, but I think it's from the crossover switch. I'm just going to blow it out and clean it up and see how she does. But that's where we're at on that. So I've still got 1 more of the base 1200s to let go, since we moved up to the MD 1800s. And like I say, I could tell they needed more. So I've got a couple of extras of these. So it's just as cheap for me to buy a whole other 4 more subs. So we've actually got 16 of them. So if I blow something, because I mean, I'm going to push these things to the raggedy edge, brothers. But cross your fingers. Maybe I'll get some stuff done. Just want to check in, say I miss you. I'm still kicking. Just taking me more time than what most bass heads was. You know, think Doug Bernard takes time to get stuff done? Bruh, shit's killing me. I just work all the damn time. And I gotta take some time off. I just don't know how. But I'll get back with you guys. I want to get started on this thing. Maybe we can make it go. Maybe. So we'll see. I'll get back with you guys. Okay, I got it out. Come on, bunny cat. Oh, what a mess. It's like 9:40 at night. I got it out, but broke several exhaust manifold bolts off. One for the EGR right there. I know you really can't see. And both the exhaust manifolds bolts on the back. And you see I went through a gazillion bits. So I had to drill these out here and here. And then this is for the heat shroud. And one of those rung off, so I drilled it out. So once I get back to some daylight, I'll drill and tap those out. and then I'll be going. God, this sucks. This really sucks. The life of a bass head. I don't know if any of you other bass heads do this much, but man, it is a very big undertaking just to get some boom going. But I mean, it's a nice car. You know, I used to drive it to work daily. Nothing wrong with it other than the transmission slipped in overdrive from time to time. But I mean, it's just too nice to scrap. I just can't see doing it. I mean, she's straight as a string. So maybe this will fix it. And I'll get back to you guys in some daylight. But it's out. It is out. God, dude. I would never recommend this. Especially if you don't know what you're doing. Dude. But guys, I'll get back with you in the morning. Maybe 1, 2, 3 more days. Trying to take a couple of days off. I'm going to need it. It's just hard to get anything done in an evening in another day. I think I do well with what time I have. But if I had 2 or 3 days back to back for a couple of weeks in a row, that would really help. So while I've got this thing out, I want to go ahead and replace the front main seal and the rear main seal and all the CV axle seals and the front pump seal and the transmission. I mean, she's out. She's ready to go. Why not? Make sure all that's secure. I got the engine sitting on some wood blocks so I can access the harmonic. Maybe I can get this booger off without messing something up. We'll see. I don't know. I don't see any bolts for a crow's foot to go on there. I'll have to ask, because I don't know once I pull that main nut off if there's no way to get it off of there. It wouldn't be good, and I would not be happy. So, with that being said, Dapper Cracker out. You see that? It pissed on me.